Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. So for today's video, I've been absolutely scraping my brain trying to figure out what I actually want to film today. I have loads of ideas, but actually picking something that I have the attention span to actually sit down and do is a completely different story. Now, as much as I say I'm racking my brains trying to figure out what video I'm filming, I do have loads of ideas. And when I tell you, you guys have been screaming, and I mean screaming at me to make a more in-depth Teddy video, I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. So whilst I've been racking my brains trying to figure out what I'm doing, my cats, I have two cats, both of my cats have been doing my head in all day. So I don't know if there's something in the air today or if just both of my cats are just trying to drive me mad today, but I thought, you know what better thing to do than make a video for them. So my plan today is to make a couple of cat toys with catnip inside of them and making a fluffy bed for them. Now, I absolutely love fluffy blankets. I literally have about 7 on my bed at all times, and best believe that if I have them on the bed, the cats are using them. So what I thought I'd do is make them both a fluffy bed so I can be left with my own fluffy blanket for myself, and they have their own ones to go and lie in. So this video isn't a tutorial as such, but I'm going to take you alongside me and show you how I make my cat bed and some toys. So before my cats do my head in any more than they already are, let's get onto it. So I'm basically going to make a toy for my mum's dog. I have just tried out 2 little fish toys that have got catnip in them, which I will show you. But I'm going to show you how to make the bone one. I mean, they're basically the exact same idea, other than the fact that the fish is obviously for the cat, and I've decided to put catnip into it. So you basically just want to cut out 2 bones or fishes, whichever you decide. And the idea is, you can't really tell with this fabric, but the idea is you want to sew them right sides together. So if this was your pretty side and this was your not pretty side, you would put 2 pretty sides together so that both of the non-pretty sides are facing out. Then we're going to stitch around the whole thing, leaving probably about a 1-inch gap. So I'm just going to go around, probably stop around here, and sew right the way around my toy so that we can turn it back the right way. Once we've sewn that, I'm just going to go ahead and cut off any loose threads. And I'm going to go around all of my curved edges with the tiniest little snip. And that just helps so that when we turn it back the right way, it just helps those curves be natural lying curves and not all bulky. You want to be careful that you don't snip too far into your stitching, otherwise you're going to cut your stitching. So once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back the right way. Now you can use a pencil or a pair of scissors, something that isn't too sharp because you don't want to pierce the fabric. But you basically just want to flip it back the right way. And I'm just going to use a pair of scissors, and you just find your opening and you can sort of just go in and just carve out those edges a little bit, sort of help push it through. And to help give it that extra finished feeling, you can take it to the ironing board and give it a good press. Now, I don't want you to criticize me on how much my bone doesn't really look very symmetrical. However, my argument is, I suppose no bones look the same. So, and my mum's dog's literally gonna destroy it anyway, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start stuffing it with some of this cut up fabric. And again, you can use a pair of scissors or a pencil to help push your stuffing through, because there is quite a lot of little small gaps. So I'm just going to start stuffing this through. And you can stuff it as firm or as flimsy as you like. suppose that is the great thing about hand making this sort of thing, is you really can do it to your preference. You can make them as small or as big as you want. Now, my mum's dog is literally the tiniest Yorkshire Terrier you will ever see, so making her a massive bone toy is probably not ideal. So I think this little one is going to be so adorable, and I think she's gonna love it. Now, I was thinking, I don't have loads of subscribers, but I'm almost at 500, and I always like to sort of give back and do things for other people. I think that's what makes me happiest. So I was thinking, once I reach 500 subscribers, I might regret saying this, but I was planning on making literally 500 dog and cat toys, whether they're the catnip ones or the bed that we're about to make, or even this one right here. I was planning on making 500 things that we can go and donate to a dog and cat shelter, because I know that would make me so happy, and it would definitely make a lot of cats and dogs very happy. So let me know if you would like to see that as a video. I think regardless if you do or if you don't, I'm gonna do it anyways, if and when we reach 500 subscribers. So I'd like to hear your input on that. Now the bone is feeling quite firm and how I'd like it, all that's left to do is to sew up this opening and defluff it, I suppose. So we're gonna just take a sewing needle with just some white thread, and I'm just gonna slowly start going through and hand stitching this opening closed. I'm gonna have to do a good job of it because, like I say, my mum's dog is absolutely gonna destroy this, and the last thing we need is for our stitching to break. And now I'm just gonna trim all of this extra thread and give it a right good lint roll. And just like that, I've made a dog toy for my mum's dog, Daisy. So you can make these in any shapes that you like. I've decided to do obviously the fish ones for the catnip. Again, don't judge. This was made out of stretchy fabric. This was made out of cotton. So I did expect one to be bigger than the other. However, the smaller one's for my kitten and the bigger one is for Penny, the cat I've had for absolutely ages, and she deserves the bigger one. So Pete, my little kitten, can have the smaller one, which both have catnip in them. You can put catnip in them in multiple different ways, whether you cover your fabric in it, you just roll the toy itself in catnip, or whether you actually put it into the toy itself, which I have with both of these. And the dog toy has not got catnip in it. However, you could put a treat that isn't going to go off inside to attract the dog to it, but I know Daisy's going to love this either way. So just like that, we have made some cat and dog toys. So let's get on to making the cat and dog bed. Okay, so for this bed, what I'm going to do, I am planning on making them one each, but I'm just going to make one now, and I'm sure they can fight over it. But we need to make two pieces. I need to make two circles for the bottom and a long rectangle for the side. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is, I'm going to cut my circle first. So I'm going to decide how big I want my bed to be, 20 inches wide. So I'm going to fold my fabric in half, and I'm going to cut a circle that's basically 20 centimeters by 10. So I'm going to find my 10 point first. And just like that, we have a circle. So I'm gonna cut another one of those out so that we have a top and a bottom. And I'm gonna make my life a bit more easier, and rather than doing that technique again, I'm literally just gonna sandwich the top of it onto my fabric and cut out around it. Okay, so now we need to measure the outside of the circle so that we can figure out how long I want my wall to be around. Now, I don't want it to go right the way around. I'm thinking that I leave a small gap for the cats to be able to get in. So let's take the tape measure and literally measure right the way around and see what number we come up with. So just roughly going round, it's about 68 inches long, width-wise. Take a chunk off. Let's measure what size I would want that to be. So I say about 15 inches. So we'll take 15 inches away from 68. Okay, so now we're gonna pop this to the side, and I'm gonna find a long bit of fabric, and we're basically going to do 53 inches by however thick I want my wall to be. But what I'm thinking of doing is actually folding my material in half so that I don't have to sew a side seam. So I'm just gonna go ahead and very roughly fold my material in half. So this is gonna double up as my wall. So I was thinking around 6 centimeters high for my wall. Maybe even 8. No, let's do 6. So I'm just gonna cut a straight line so we have a starting point. And I'm gonna measure 53 inches. Perfect. So now we have our wall and our top and our bottom. So this time I'm going to use the overlocker. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna fold our side wall right sides together. You can't really tell with this fabric if this was your pretty side and this was your not pretty side. You want them pretty sides together so that your not pretty sides are on either side. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sew up the side seams so that this bottom part is left open, making sure that right sides are together. Literally just like that. And I'm gonna go ahead and just turn it back the right way. Now we want to take one of our massive circles, and this is my pretty side. So pretty side facing up. You want to start taking your trim, and we're basically just gonna pin it around this circle, because as we sew our sidewall to the actual circle, we're gonna stuff the fabric in the same go. See the gap that's been left open? So this will end up coming up at the sides, and there'll still be an opening at the front. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this over to my overlocker, and I'm gonna start at this side, and I'm just gonna basically overlock the whole thing. However, I'm gonna get so far down this strip before I stop, leave it in my machine, and I'm gonna put some stuffing inside it so that pretty much we're gonna sew a little bit, stuff a little bit, sew a little bit, stuff a little bit, sew a little bit, stuff a little bit, so that when we get round to the other side, we can just sew it off completely and our walls are nice and padded. Now that it's almost looking like a bed, we just need to pop the inside in. So our other piece of circle. Now, I suppose you could just leave it like this if you wanted to. It's really, really soft material. So I do believe that the cats are going to be really comfortable on it anyways. However, what I was thinking of doing was turning it inside out so that all of the pretty sides are inside. Now, this is going to be a nightmare because I've already stuffed this part, which I probably should have stuffed this part afterwards. But I have no common sense. So I think what's probably going to happen is the first thing which I suggested, which is just popping this lovely piece of fabric and tucking it in, and my cats aren't going to judge me for it. But the idea was, if you haven't stuffed the side part yet, would be to tuck it all in, and then this being the pretty side and this being the pretty side, sandwiching those together and literally tucking everything in and sewing all of that together as 4 layers, but leaving a gap so that you can basically turn it back the right way and stuff the bottom part as well. Now, I might give it a shot, but I might regret this, so bear with me.
12 seconds later.
So I've only been doing this for about 5 minutes and I already highly regret it. But before I cut it off, I'm going to just show you what I mean. So you can see that there is no seam visible from either side, but both sides, you've got pretty sides on both. So that would be the idea, but I'm really struggling to go around the whole thing and hand sew this. I also don't think I have the will to live for that right now. I've got things I need to do today. I don't want to be sat here making a cat bed all day just because I decided to hand sew it. So what I'm going to do is pretend like this never happened. And I'm basically just going to put this fluffy circle on top of the other fluffy circle and just tuck it in. And I think that that is a pretty impressive little bed. See, it's not that bad. It's quite nice actually. And to be honest, I actually think it's big enough for both of my cats. So hopefully there will be no fighting there. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get a clip of both of my cats, or at least one of them using this. Maybe I douse this in catnip and just force them to sleep in it, because I will be very upset if I've just made this for both of my cats to neglect it. So I've just looked over to see Penny lying in the bed. She has seemed to destroy the bottom part that I couldn't sew on, or was too lazy to sew on, but I think because she has done that, I will actually sew it on eventually. But look how cute she looks. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed coming alongside me and making a couple of toys for my cat. As you can see, one of them in the background is literally doing her own thing. She climbs anything and everything that she can possibly find to climb. So hopefully these catnip toys are going to keep her happy for a couple of hours. Again, my in-depth teddy video should be up in a couple of weeks, so keep an eye out for that. But until then, I hope you have a lovely week, and hopefully I will see you all again next Sunday. You want to say hi? No. You want to cause mischief? Yeah.